wanted to share, Byron asked me just to share a couple of minutes from just my heart or what was on my mind, and just it's been a great year. Really, this partnership development training has been a great experience for a number of our staff that have gone through it. But it's also opened up a can of worms in that I have done more, and then Guy, we couldn't do it without Guy, more coaching and support to our staff than all the years before. Just because it's kind of like the new awareness of, wow, we can really get some help, and we need some help, and we need to move forward in some serious ways. And that's great. That's my heart. That's what I'm excited about doing. So let me just share a couple of quick thoughts and keep it quick. But one of my favorite verses, since Christian, and most of it's due to my athletic background, is 1 Corinthians 9:24. In a race, all the runners run, but only one wins the prize. Run in such a way as to win the prize. And most of you probably know, as I've shared a little bit about my story, I played soccer all the way through college, and I was a varsity soccer coach for about 8 years, and been refereeing and still kicking around a little bit. And so sports have been a big part of my life, and I think Apostle Paul must have kind of liked sports too, because he refers to sports a pretty good bit. And one of the things that really jumped out at me as I've really kind of reflected on that verse is the phrase, run in such a way. That there is a way to be running. There's best practices to be able to accomplish. And I tell some people that all of my ministry, professional, occupational, and vocational life, I've worked either with teenagers or artists. And there's a lot of similarities there. But really, it's just been such a joy of inspiring and encouraging and validating and motivating that there's a lot there for you to accomplish. And the Lord created you in a particular way, a specific way, to be able to accomplish that. But let me identify just a couple of quick things that I see, maybe as the coach, kind of a locker room talk here with my team here. A couple of things that I think we can continue to work on as a team. Run in such a way. The first thing, and those that have hung around me very much know that this is a big one for me, is that it takes a team. It takes a team. I'm pretty convinced if whatever the Lord is calling you to do is of the Lord, it's bigger than you. And you cannot do it by yourself. So if you are trying to do it by yourself, you are falling way short of what the Lord has for you. And I know for a fact there's a lot of ACT people that are trying to do it by themselves. They feel alone. They're wrestling with it. They're trying to figure it out. And I end up being kind of their team. And I love doing that. But obviously I can't be the team for all of our staff. And so we've got to have a team. The ministry accountability team. That's part of your requirement as a part of ACT to have that. And most people have that in name, but not a lot of our staff have an active, viable team around them serving. And so I actually am doing one of the breakout sessions, and at first it looked like it was going to be the smallest one, and I said, well, that's pretty typical, that I've preached it and I've pushed it and it's a requirement, but I find that many of our staff, it's hard work, guys. In some ways, it's almost easier kind of just go to do my own thing. It takes a lot of work to pull a team around you, but the ability to be able to create that team that's going to help you move to that next level, that's essential. So you may want to consider coming to my breakout session. But we've got coaches, we've got people, I'm just looking around, I don't have time to mention, but so many people in this room that have so much experience, so much giftedness, and they've said, hey, I'm willing to help. So I'm not the only one. You call me, and I kind of hear out where you need help, how can we help you, and maybe I can, but I'm going to point you and connect you with somebody else, and hopefully they can encourage you or assist you. They've already done that, or you can walk together in the same thing. So you've got a team around you that can assist you in that, even within your ACT community. The second thing is it takes a game plan. It takes a team, and it takes a game plan. And sometimes I find the artistic, creative type really cringe at that. I want to be creative, spontaneous. And so I've had to learn to kind of walk that, and again with teenagers and with artists, walk that, and as a father of two, 24 and 27-year-old, of trying to provide structure and help in moving forward and developing a game plan without it becoming my game plan. And so that's kind of the role of that leadership team. It's not their game plan, it's yours, but you've got to have a team to help you. But you've got to have a game plan. The biggest downfall, and again I'm just speaking from experience, speaking with a lot of you, is that too many are settling for less than what it is the Lord's calling them to do because it's too easy without a plan to gravitate towards the low-hanging fruit. What do I just naturally love to do? What's the opportunity right in front of me? And that's not a bad strategy for a little while. Just what's right here and just do that and be used. But so often we get bogged down in just what's the thing I like to do and the easy thing and it's right here in front of me, and it doesn't allow me to really plan ahead and pursue some of the things that the Lord is really calling me to do. And I may even need to put some things on the back shelf for a little bit, even if it is the thing I love to do the most, the easiest thing to be able to move forward. That's why you got to have a team around you to help you kind of think through that. So it takes a game plan, and not all of us are designed in a way that coming up with those game plans is easy. So just know that. And that's not that that one person is better than another. It's just we all have different gifts. You all know, those who have been around a while, Byron and I are about as different as day is from night. But in the last years that Byron and I have been together, because of that coming together as a team, different gifts, different experiences, different temperaments, different approaches, we've seen how the Lord's blessed ACT in these few years. That's not a pat on my back. That's just evidence of this reality that we've got to find those people, develop a plan, and move forward. Or we end up just kind of settling for something less than really what we believe the Lord's calling us to do, because we just kind of, what's the easy thing, what's right in front of me. And then the last thing here concerning run in such a way is worthy of the prize. We are to run in such a way as to win the prize. And I love the God Ask. If you haven't read the God Ask, even if you don't participate in the partnership development training time, it may not be necessary for you. But the God Ask, I would highly recommend you reading that book. And he does a great job of helping us to evaluating and really challenging us. Do you really see yourself worthy of other people supporting your ministry? Do you really see your ministry, let's put it a different way, not even that you're worthy, that this assignment that the Lord has laid on your heart is worthy of other people partnering with? That's the mindset. That's what we work on. One of the biggest things we really wrestle with in this partnership development team is understanding that this is not about me. It's about an assignment that the Lord has called me to facilitate. But if that is truly an assignment of the Lord, then we shouldn't be ashamed at all in inviting other people to be a part of it. And then we are worthy of the prize because who it is God's made me to be. I am worthy because of what Christ has done for me, but also because of the unique ways that he's made me. You know, I go by Coach Mo. Sometimes that's where soccer, when I was playing soccer, got Coach Moshell, got abbreviated to Coach Mo. But I also like to use that, especially when I'm talking to high school students and college students. Coach Mo is kind of not just a title, but it's kind of a description of who I am. Every role I've ever played, I've been Coach Mo, whether it's on a soccer field or leading a music ministry or executive pastor. It's been in different places. We need to discover who it is God's created us to be and be who it is. Which in many cases, we don't have to figure out what we're supposed to do. Most cases, it's not about figuring out what I'm supposed to do. It's about understanding and believing who I'm supposed to be, and then being who I'm supposed to be. I mean, I love, what Ben was saying. I mean, he and Aaron are just doing what in some cases, it's things they probably wouldn't have desired in their life, but it's who the Lord's created their family to be. And now we're just being who it is God's called me to be, and look at these opportunities that I would have never pursued on my own, but it's opened the door. So many testimonies of the same thing. I didn't intend to do this, and look where I am. And then the third reason, and then I just love Eric Little. I mean, Chariots of Fire. I love to ask high school students, how many of you seen Chariots of Fire? And many of the high school students don't have any idea who I'm talking about. But watch Chariots of Fire. It's dated, I know that, but it's great. And I love that scene where everybody is telling, come on, why are you wasting your time running? If you don't know the full story, go find out. But his family, everybody's coming around, why are you running? Kind of like, why are you playing music? Come on, you need to get or be a real missionary and go change, bring the scriptures to this tribe. He says, you're right, I am called to China, but he made me fast. And when I run, I feel his pleasure. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. I like to tell high school students that's not a Santa Claus list. It's not like if you're good, you're going to get gifts. If I delight myself in the Lord, I'm going to receive those desires. No, it's a reality that as I am delighting myself in the Lord, he's going to give me the desires of my heart. Because who gave us those desires in the first place? And then we have a stewardship for who we are. And that's why we're worthy, guys. I love this quote in God Ask, that the partnership development is not about raising money so I can go do ministry. Partnership development becomes a part of your ministry. And this is a great quote. Shadrach in God Ask challenges us to be a Holy Spirit-filled recruiter. A Holy Spirit-filled recruiter. Committing yourself to spending the rest of your life inviting others to give of their time, talent, and treasure to fulfill the Great Commission across the planet. It's kind of like what Chuck was talking about today. Facilitating, motivating, being used by God to challenge his people to use their gifts and their resources for his purposes. We're inviting them to use those resources in our assignment. But if it's not our assignment, if we're investing in others, then we're still being used by God to do that. So being that Holy Spirit-filled recruiter. Guys, I just get excited about the opportunities that I have, the privilege I have of being able to hear your visions, your assignments, and being able to encourage and motivate you in any way. And want to continue to be help. And there's other people certainly on staff and in this room right here that can help you. But we've got to be committed as a team to not settle for less than who it is God's called us to be, but to run that race to win the prize. And we're all going to benefit from that. I mean, again, I love last year, that was the biggest comment when people walked away. It was just kind of like a wow factor. that this is what ACT is. This is an amazing group right here, guys, and it's just we look forward to all that the Lord's going to do for us in the future.